This episode of BFC TV is brought to you by Polaroid.
Live from Brooklyn, New York, it's BFC TV!
Welcome to BFC TV. My name is Ben, and today we have a very special guest sitting down with me on the BFC couch. I'd like to call out Matt Day. Can we get Matt Day out from the audience? Have a seat. Welcome to Brooklyn.
Thank you for having
Welcome
me.
to the BK.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's good to be
absolutely.
here.
Yeah. Today we are going to be doing 20 questions with Dizzy Day. We're going to get you on all kinds of topics because, you know, there's a lot to cover.
Of course,
You're
yeah.
quite a prolific individual. So the first question, sort of our broad why are you here question, it's literally why are you here right now at Brooklyn Film Camera?
This is my first time in New York, period. And nowhere else in the state have I been except for Brooklyn as of today. So I'm here to share some pictures from my upcoming book. We're gonna have those on display tomorrow for the opening night, and I'm super excited, very honored and thankful to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you here. You're one of the first people that I reached out to. We were like figuring out the gallery. It was like,
That's
can we
amazing.
get Matt Day? I don't know if we can drag him out here to New York, but if we can, it's worth a try.
It does take a lot to drag me out of the house or away or anywhere near or far away from the house.
Yeah.
I stay pretty close to home.
We've got you quite a few miles from your house at this moment. Question number two. If you could shoot one film stock for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ilford HP5.
That's what I kind of figured you might say.
It's no nonsense, no fuss.
Yeah.
It just works.
Yeah. That's a good answer. Number three, kiss, marry, fight. Kodak, Fuji, and Ilford.
Ooh, I would fight Fuji because the death of FP3000B will never feel any better than it does. What were the other two options?
You can marry,
Or kiss.
or fight.
Okay, so
Ilford, Kodak,
Okay, so I'm fighting
or Fuji. All right, fighting Fuji. Okay.
I'll kiss Kodak.
Gotta give him a little smooch.
Consider it a kiss goodbye, because
Yeah.
then I'm gonna marry Ilford.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay, the nuptials are confirmed. Number four, what's the most annoying camera you've ever owned?
You know, the Contax T2, I bought it like over 10 years ago, and I should have held on to it just for the fact that I could resell it for much more than I paid at the time. When I did sell it, because I just sold it for what I paid, and that was like $300 to $350 at the time, and that was with the box, with all of the accessories and everything, the case. But that camera just didn't really do anything for me. It was one that I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be great to always carry with me.
Yeah.
And I just didn't.
Just didn't.
Yeah.
Just didn't. All right, Contacts, you're done. Number five, could you do a kickflip on my birdhouse skateboard from 2003?
It might take me a minute. Old Dad's a little rusty, but if you have some patience, yeah.
Well, I brought the board, so we'll do that after this. Okay, number six, a digital shooter walks into a bar. He tells the bartender that shooting 35mm film is pointless because a digital sensor is just as large. You are the bartender. What do you say to the customer? And keep in mind you want a good tip.
To be honest, I would just tell him, do whatever you want. It's fine. Depending on when in my life that situation would have happened, if it happened today, I would just go, okay, that's fine.
So you're saying you've had an evolution of thought about the sort of film versus digital presence in your life? I still have my feelings towards it, which is that in a perfect world, I would never need to use a digital camera because it just, I prefer the process of film. Yeah. However, the benefits of digital and the convenience when you've got 3 kids and very limited time, like we were talking about earlier. But it's more so the idea that what someone else is doing, I have no interest in trying to change their mind. Yeah. So you're going to get a pretty good tip, I think, from this customer. Okay, number 7. The US government institutes a law saying you can only use Voigtlander lenses on Leica cameras until 2055. Do you still use your Leica bodies? 100%. Run it with a Voigtlander lens, a Zeiss lens, run it with whatever lens you've got. My first lens I ever got from my M6 was the 35 f2.5 color scope arc. A beauty. Amazing, super compact. I've kind of thought about picking one of those up again just to keep on my M6 because it's a killer lens. Yeah.
Voigtlander gets no hate from me.
Yeah, I don't understand the hate other than the snootiness of some Leica people. I won't name them by name.
Right.
Number 8, what video that you've shot for your YouTube channel took you the longest?
I still haven't put together the 2 terabytes of footage from when I published my last book. We went to Minneapolis to sign and package and ship all the books out. Took us several days.
You're sitting on 2 TBs?
Yes, and I don't know how to put it together or how I want to put it together, but that one has taken me the longest because it's still not done. I mean, I haven't done really anything other than go through the footage.
Yeah.
But aside from that, my videos are really easy, basic. I'm a one-man band, so it's like I film the video, I edit the video, I upload it, I never watch it again. After it goes up.
Out of mind.
Yeah.
Out of Premiere, out of mind.
Exactly.
Okay, so what, if ever, gives you the urge to shoot large format instead of 120 or 35?
I had an itch to shoot large format again like 2 years ago. I don't think I have the attention span for large format or the patience. I admire the look of it and people who are like dedicated to it, but I am so just, if I see something I want to shoot, I just want to shoot it quickly and then move on and look at something else. The idea of looking at anything too long, I feel like I lose interest even if it's something that I'm like really excited about. I'm already like wanting to look at something else.
Okay, so yeah, large format would not be good for that at all.
No.
Not at all.
I tried, but very quickly I was like, yeah, this is not, I'm not cut out for this.
Okay, that's fair. Number 10, back to something you were about to say earlier. If you could revive one film stock, which would it be?
FP 3000B with no hesitation.
No hesitation.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. From Dizzy Day. Number 11, you're on a maiden voyage to an undiscovered island and only have space in your bag for 3 photo books. Which are you bringing?
I like this question. Christmas Day, Bucks Pond Road by Tim Carpenter.
Nice. You'll never be able to look at any photos for the rest of your life. Well, I guess that wasn't part of the question.
No, we'll book it in there. We'll book it in there. Just for the simple fact that it would make me smile for the subject matter. Dogs by Elliot Erwitt. American Scene by Sage Sawyer.
Good picks. Can't argue with any of those. You're going to have a great time on this undiscovered island. Number 12, what do you love about shooting your hometown of Chillicothe and focusing on it as a subject?
Like for instance here, I don't know, aside from shooting portraits of people and friends and new people that I meet here, I don't know how many photos I would actually take if I were just to go on a walk.
Right.
I have a weird sort of like hang up with that where I feel too much of an outsider looking in, and it's hard for me to find anything that I immediately, no matter what I look at, I'm going to look at it and say, I don't know the full story of this, I don't know the context of this, I don't know the real. Depending on who is looking at it, they could read far more into it than I ever could, making the picture, which is not a bad thing at all. This is not something that I hold other people to. I wish I could kind of get through that at times where I do want to actually go out and shoot places that I'm not familiar with.
That's interesting. So it's more of like your responsibility as a storyteller.
In a way, yeah. In a way, not necessarily like it's you know, anything groundbreaking or like any serious topic or subject, but yeah, I feel like the place that I've always lived and the place that feels like home, that's where I like grew up looking at things and like taking these like mental snapshots in a way. And it just feels like the one natural thing that I don't really have to force or, it just feels comfortable.
That's interesting. It's a unique answer. One of our first from our Chillicothe guests. Number 13, does shooting black and white or color influence whether you shoot at dawn, midday, or dusk?
Yeah, without a doubt. If I'm shooting black and white, then I doesn't matter time of day or really anything. With color, I get way pickier about the light, the colors that are in the picture, the time of day obviously is going to play a huge role in that. So yeah, color makes me much pickier, which I'm trying to get better and just more comfortable with using color, because I've always stuck with black and white. But yeah, I think black and white is much more forgiving in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I would say certainly. Shout out to HP5. If you could time travel 9 years into the past and talk to your younger self, but you could only talk about your YouTube channel, what advice would you give Lil Matt Day, Little Dizzy Day?
About YouTube?
Yeah.
Or, oh man, don't overthink it. I mean, that's what I would try to tell myself now. Like I overthink everything, and I still am to the point where anytime I hit record, I'm like, no one cares. Why would anyone? No one cares about this. You know what I mean? Yeah, not to overthink it, and yeah, just be yourself. I mean, I feel like I have been, but it's taken me a while to like get comfortable with that, and also figure out what myself is. I guess you know.
Sort of the distinction between like the presenter Matt Day and the human being, and like is transmitted through YouTube. It's a really weird thing to see yourself on camera, but then also to have other people only see that specific portion of you and then fill in the blanks for everything else. Yeah. It's really weird. Like the longer I've done it, the more it feels weird in a weird. You know what I mean? That's interesting. Yeah. No, but because you're building more and more of a person online. Yeah, I think so. But it's at the start, I don't think I really understood the full concept of it. It was much more about, all right, I just want to make sure I include this and this and this, all this information. And you had a GoPro? A GoPro and a window. Classic. A GoPro and a window. That's the name of your next book. A GoPro and a window. Okay, number 15. Is a hot dog a sandwich? No, it's a hot dog. Number 16. If you had 12 more hours in the day and you wouldn't get sleepy, what non-photography related thing would you do with that extra time? Oh, probably play more video games with my son. Okay. Yeah. That's our main hobby. What's your main game? So we're really into handheld gamings of all kind. So I like to build, like modify Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Advances, old systems, putting newer technology into them, like backlit screens. You're hacking Game Boys? Oh yeah. Is this known? Is this a scoop? Is this a scoop? That's perfect. I would, if I had more time, I would probably just do more of that, more modding Game Boys with my son and playing games. Yeah. That sounds dreamy. It's a good time. Yeah, that sounds like a good time. We have a lot of fun. Number 17, what is the most important thing to nail in a portrait? Just getting the subject to be comfortable and to not be uncomfortable or feeling like they need to put up some kind of guard. Just getting them to be comfortable. The rest of it, in terms of like how you light it or how tight you shoot the portrait, or if you get which eye in focus, whatever. I think the most important thing beyond all of that is just getting the person to be comfortable and just try to get as much of themselves as you can when you make the picture. Yep, I fully agree with that. Number 18, what's the cheapest photography accessory that you can't live without? I don't really have many accessories that I use other than just the camera and the lens. Do you use anything to hold your film after you've shot it, or? No, it usually just gets tossed into a bag or my pocket. Okay, pocket or bag. Yeah. Oh well, those are free. Pockets are great. Pockets are cheap, even in this economy. And I mean, don't get me started on this economy, because I will go off. I will go off if we start talking about. Okay, we're going with pockets for that one. Number 19. Speaking of pockets, this would be in your pocket. What is playing on Matt Day's iPod in 2002? 2002? Yeah. Man, probably Slipknot. Nice. Gangstar. Very different, but yeah, Gangstar. Bonus question, what iPod did you have? So I started with the classic, but I think, I can't remember what year it came out. Did you have a video or Nano? I got a video when that came out, and I ran that for as long as I possibly could. It was a black just rewatching the YouTube music videos pre-installed on it. That's all that mattered to me. That's one of the best, one of my favorite pieces of tech of all time. The video iPod when that came out. That changed. Just beautiful. Everything. Great way to watch a Scorsese flick. And our final question, number 20. what was the process like for developing your surveyor project and selecting the works that are on display here at BFC?
This entire project was very much a finding it day by day kind of thing. The idea was to try and just see things new. Since my last book, it was about 10 years between making the pictures for the last book and then these, and trying to see things differently in a place that I've always known. That was sort of like the challenge that I wanted to set up, but then right once I got started, it was like we lost my mom, we moved, I was seeing completely different surroundings, just immediate surroundings at least, you know, still in the same town but on the opposite end of the county, and just a different feeling of the landscape. And then also my son being born, like all of those things were happening right at the time that I was, you know, starting the project. And so it was really a starting new, starting over kind of thing. And it felt like I was just sort of like going through a map of just trying to figure out where I was at that point, and just where home was in terms of like visually. So that was really the whole mindset going into it, and I didn't develop any of the film until between like 6 and 9 months into it. And so
that is wild.
I was kind of just going with my gut, and a lot of anxiety about that. Once I first started developing the film, I was like, this is the point where it all falls apart, where I start seeing the film and go, what have I been doing?
The pressure of when you first got the film back?
Yeah.
Were you just like shaking? Crying in the club?
I was...
crying at TSA?
Yeah. I was at home developing the film, and I looked at it, and some things I remembered, some things I really didn't, and some things worked like I wanted them to, and some things didn't. But I tried to just look at it honestly as that period of time and just make, kind of piece things together through that. And so the pictures that I shared today for the show, it's really just sort of not necessarily like my absolute favorite pictures, but I feel like it paints somewhat of the closest picture that I could without including an entire book, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's an honor to have your work here.
It's an honor to be
Thank
here.
you so much for accepting the challenge of being grilled in our new 20 question segment.
I didn't know what to expect, but I'm game. I'm game.
Yeah, I mean, you said hot dog, not a sandwich.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the main takeaway from this whole experience.
If it were a sandwich, they wouldn't call it a hot dog, you know? That's my only...
They don't call a hamburger a sandwich, to be fair. Although, some people do. McDonald's, I think, actually says...
Do they say...
like, hamburger sandwich.
They're doing it extra then.
They're doing it extra then. Well, thank you, Matt, for being on the program. It's been a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Thank you for watching BFC TV. We'll catch you on the next one. We'll have 40 more questions for Matt in the future.